And we'll let Venus Carr open everything up with a prayer.
Thank you. Heavenly Father, we come to you as humbly as we know how, Lord Jesus. We just ask that you continue to be with us, that you bless us, Lord. Lord, bless this gathering, Lord Jesus. Bless the information that's shared. Help it to be of help and benefit to everyone here, oh Lord. And we just ask all these things in your Son's precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, with this, what I want to do very briefly, we got different homeowners association and crime watch association in here. So I want you to stand up. If you with a particular home watch, crime watch association or representative, just stand up so we know who you are. Let's start with Ms. Armstrong. You tell me which crime watch or home association you with.
Good afternoon. We are the Garywood Neighborhood Crime Watch, and this is our meeting place here. And we welcome you today, and we hope that you have lots of questions and they'll all get answers.
Thank you. Anyone next on this road?
I'm visiting tonight down from District 4, Glen Oaks, and I'm working with doing the beautification from Pope 67 all the way back down to 20.
So he kind of crossing District 4 and District 8. So that's a good, so we need to know what he's doing on District 4 and also on District 8 side. Okay.
I'm
Anybody,
Washington with my name.
anybody on the next row, representative? What about the row after that? I believe I see someone, yes.
My name is Kalani Jackson. I'm the president of Polk Terrace Neighborhood Association. Our boundaries are Polk to the west, Camp Wisdom to the north, Wheatland to the south, and Interstate 35 southbound Service Road to the east.
Anyone on the next row? Oh, right here.
I am Felicia Sewell. I'm the president of the 5 Mile Neighborhood Association. I'm going into that southwest east north. Anyhow, we're located right in Simpson Stewart and Camp Wisdom, where the old Apollo Motel is. Our community is right directly behind her. Our meetings are held on the last Saturday of every month at the South Central Post Division. Thank you.
Anybody on the next row? The next row?
Dwight Johnson, I'm the president of the Wheatland Meadows Wisdom Terrace Neighborhood Watch Group.
I'm Beverly Hall. I'm the president of Unity Estates, right behind the fire station. And this is our meeting place, the first Tuesday of every month at 6 o'clock.
Anyone on the next row?
Bruce Stewart, Hidden Valley Homeowners Association. We meet on the second Monday of each month. We're right across from UNT, right there in Camp Wisdom and University Hills.
Okay. Anyone? This row right here for CWA? What about
Allen, I'm president of the Red Bird Baptist Crime Watch Group. We meet here the third Thursday of every month. We're right up the street.
I'm John Spargans. I'm the president of the Southeast Dallas Civic and Homeowners Association. We meet at the police station the first Saturday of each month.
I'm Clara McDade, and I'm with the Holland Hill Community Liaison Association, and we meet the second Monday of each month at the South Central Police Station.
Third Thursday at Holland Hill United Methodist Church. We are also the proud host of Councilman Atkins' new home place. So drop by Holland Hills right across from Paul Quinn College and come and see us. We're all about improvement.
All right. Okay. Announcement today at Redbird Mall, and it's about WellMat, a partnership with Park Department and WellMed, and they are going to move into the old Square 67 behind South Dollar Cafe. You know, and we got to kind of publicize this. It hadn't came to the city manager yet, but they was in town, They did leave a check for $150,000 to make sure they pay for the program. So maybe the part is a partnership with WellMed. In San Antonio, they have something for their seniors. What they do is, if you're 6 years plus, they will pick you up. They will bring you back to the center. They will feed you lunch. You had all these different programs. And in every council district, you have this product. It's someone that the WellMed, the company of WellMed, the people who fund that is the employees. They give back to a charity and they make sure the money goes back for seniors. So we are a growing, not older, but younger.
Right.
And when we grow younger, we want to do more things. You know, we want to sit at home, you want to get out, you want to do more things to make sure we got going on. So that's been a good partnership. Hopefully, if everything goes right, they may be open by November this year. It's going to be a 22,000 square foot facility. And it's going to be a large facility there. And once we figure out how we'll work this out, and the park department, and then we'll be a partnership, we'll work out. So you'll probably see more stuff on the internet, on the website. On Monday night, we probably have someone there to tell you about more in detail what is going on. Remember Monday night, May 21st at 6 o'clock, we're going to talk about the Singing Hill Rec Center. And the Singing Hill Rec Center, you know, on one side of the rec center, we got 5,000 square foot, exclusive for seniors. Again, if you're not a senior, don't come in. Okay, they hear that. No kids allowed, seniors. You got your own little drive-up plays, drop-out, handicap. That's your space. That's your program. The kids will go next door to the gym and everything else. Because we've been having a whole lot of people say, hey, what can we do? So we are trying to give back and try to make sure you're more healthy and try to get you out of the house, you know. And so how to do that, we feel like in this bond package, in 2017 bond package, we put money into rec center, and that's some of the money went into that exclusively for seniors, 5,000 square foot. And that probably be open up sometime next year. It's probably come to city council in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and maybe we get it approved, get a contractor and design. So if you want to see that, again, Monday at 6 o'clock at Howland Hill, Singing Hill Rec Center. Singing Hill Rec Center, you can come and see all the rings. Okay? With that, I want to let TC, our best city manager that money can buy. That's what the best city manager money can buy. So he's not new to the neighborhood. He's been walking the neighborhood. He's been all out. So I'll let him take the lead. We're going to follow it in with the staff, what we're going to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Now listen, I would have been on time. But somebody apparently ran out of gas in the left lane on 35 and backed everything up all the way back to the bridge, so past Sainer. So I apologize for that. And there's one thing about the council member I know is that he loves me to be on time because he is on a schedule, so I never like to be late for his meetings. So I want to apologize to you, and he got to razz me a little bit, so I appreciate y'all playing along with that. I expected my chief of staff to be here tonight, but she was on her way back from Austin and the plane was delayed. And so I was looking forward to coming to support her, coming to listen to the community here and assist her as well as the council member in responding to any questions along with my staff here that I appreciate being here tonight. And so I'm going to, before I say a few things about some of the perspectives that we gained from our survey, particularly around District 8's concerns, I want to have each one of my staff members, if they haven't already done it, I'm assuming they have not, can they stand up in their places where they're at, if they're along here or anywhere in the room, and share with you who they are. And so why don't we start over here and work our way around to here. And they're going to stand and tell you who they are and what departments they're in. And we'll go from this gentleman right here.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Senior Corporal Jernigan. A lot of you all know me. Most of you all have seen me running around, running or doing whatever I do as a police officer. I've been on 17 and a half years, 2.5 more to go, and I'm glad to serve my district.
Oh, hold on. You're at 2.5 hours. You don't have to announce your retirement. They're going to give up on you.
When you start getting old, I'm almost 60, so I'm close.
I hear you. Go ahead.
Good evening, I'm City Corporal with South Central Patrol and Neighborhood Police.
Now, how many years you got left there?
Oh, 15.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm Jimmy Johnson with the Department of Sanitation. I'm on the collection side of brush, recycle, and garbage collection.
We really need to talk to you.
Hello everyone, my name is Lydia Gonzalez and I work for the Housing and Neighborhood Revitalization Department.
Good evening, everyone. I'm David Noguera. I'm Director of the Housing and Neighborhood Revitalization.
Good evening, my name is Jermaine Nation and I work for the Community Court.
And I was the same, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Jason Mathis. I'm with the City Attorney's Office, Community Prosecution Division. We work closely with the NPOs of the South Central Division. I just want to say this. I'm the coach of my son's 8U team, and it's our last game of the season, so I'm going to be ducking out in a minute, but we need to win this game. The Dallas is kind of tough. We turned it on late, but we still got off to a slow start. Councilmember staff, Maria and Kendra, if you can get in touch with them, you can get in touch with me. So whatever, I've already talked about some problems, some properties before we got started, so please reach out to Kendra and Maria, they'll pass that along to me tomorrow or first thing on Monday. Thank you.
Maria Salazar, I work for Councilman Atkins and Politics, so I'm here to serve you.
Kendra, the Secretary to Councilman Atkins of the Great
Venus Cobb, Office of Economic Development.
Yay, Venus!
Good evening, Sam Franklin with the Dallas Parks and Recreation Department. I'm the CPC for all of the parks in Oak Cliff.
I'm Jacob McCarroll. I'm with the Department of Public Works. Manage the sidewalk replacement, barrier-free ramp in the public right-of-way, and the petition assessment programs.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tina Richardson. I'm Interim Assistant Director for Public Works Department. When you call 311 about your potholes, your down trees, you call in my group. So we'll be there as fast as we can.
My name is Sinester King. I'm with the City of Dallas Animal Services. I'm the Community Outreach Specialist, and I attend most of your guys' neighborhood meetings. And if you need me to come to your meeting to talk to the members of your community, feel free to reach out to me. I have some cards up here for you to do so.
And they always save the best for last. Good afternoon, evening, everyone. My name is Kelly Price. I am the Neighborhood Code Representative for South Central Community Code. Most of you I know, others is a new introduction. Pleased to be here. And I have 1 year left.
Oh my God. Everybody leaving.
We have to do succession planning, right? To make sure we get the right people to continue to serve this community. So I'm going to be brief. One of the things that I want to do, besides to come out and support Councilmember Atkins, who is definitely always mindful of making sure that he's meeting the needs of his constituents, is to really share with you what you've shared with us to give you some perspective on, I'm hoping, what we're going to work a little bit more diligently on next year when it comes to trying to provide services that meet your needs. And so we conduct an annual citizen survey. I don't know how many of you got to participate in that. We had a professional survey done that's scientifically significant as it relates to, I think we interviewed at least 100 plus people in every council district to get their perspective on the various city services. And overall, I'd just say, based on all of the 18 to 20 questions around some categories, I'd have to say that the city, based on that response throughout the city, did quite well. About 72% of all citizen surveys felt like we were doing a good job providing services across police, fire, parks and rec, as well as their satisfaction with other things like sanitation and things like that, for the most part. Felt we did well. About 4% of those that were surveyed indicated that they thought we were doing things very poorly. And so as it relates to us being satisfied with that, obviously we're happy that 72% of the people think that we're doing good. We'd obviously like that to be more. We'd like it to be 100%. However, we are doing better than our peer cities. We're about 9% above the national average for cities in satisfaction, particularly as it relates to how their citizens feel. So we're feeling good about that, but got room for improvement. In District 8, we asked about 18 categorical questions around city services. So I'm gonna give you what at least your neighbors and others in District 8 felt that they were satisfied with. So there were major categories of service. We asked what were the most important, and I want to make sure that I'm talking to the right group here. Most important categories or services in District 8. Number one, obviously, and I think holds true for the entirety of the city, maintenance of infrastructure was number one on people's mind as it relates to the things that they felt were most important to them. Public safety, police services was number two, and then neighborhood code enforcement was number three. So that sounds about right about the things y'all care about, I'm sure. As it relates to your highest satisfaction of any of the 18 services that we asked about, you were most happy, number one, with fire services and EMS, the public library system we've got and that serves you here, and then Dallas Love Field. People love Love Field, I guess, I don't know. The category that, while it was, you were satisfied with it, the one you felt was the least important to you though, Love Field was the least important. You're happy with what Love Field has to offer, but on the scale of what you value every day, Love Field didn't seem to be that important to you, but you were happy and satisfied with what they did. Library services was another one that was least important to you, maybe because we do it well and you take it for granted. And then public information services, 311 and others, I guess, when you call in, you at least feel like they listen to you. But you don't really care that much about it because you care about, I think, the things that actually happen. Now, think about what I told you was the most important. Maintenance of infrastructure, police and neighborhood code enforcement. The three things you were least satisfied with, that you wish we would just do a better job. You said it was most important, but you don't obviously like the way we're maintaining infrastructure. And I'm assuming that rings true, and I think that is pretty much the number one least satisfied thing throughout the city in people's mind. Land use, planning, and zoning was second on your list of things you're least satisfied with, so I'd probably like to understand that a little bit better, maybe in some of the comments you have. And then neighborhood code enforcement. So you got about one more year left for them to be unhappy with you. But code enforcement is a big deal in every community, and I tend to argue that each community has their own specialized concerns with code enforcement. And we've got to find a better job of really focusing on the things with code that you really care about. Because I'm sure you could raise your hand and tell me, yeah, they care about this more than I really do, and I'd rather them ticket somebody for doing this versus worrying about how high the weeds are on the street when they got somebody operating in a little business right down the street, messing up my whole week and my children's walking around in the neighborhood. So I just wanted to share that with you to let you know, at least particularly those things that you're least satisfied with. I'm going to be working with my staff across the board to try to get better. But in those areas that I see we need improvement throughout the city, specifically, we got to begin to have the kind of conversations that really get to what is it about those services that are really not making you satisfied with what we do, so that we can, again, try to meet your needs, so that we can raise not just our survey results, but really the quality of life in this community. And so with that, I know we're going to be going into our budget season in the next few months, and that we'll surely be out here in the community with Councilmember Atkins talking about what we're proposing in the budget. We've got a lot of challenges, as we always do every year, how to better support and fund our public safety areas, how to improve the quality of life out in the community and make sure we keep our libraries open, keep funding the parks and recreation programs that people come to enjoy. But we're going to figure it out like we do every year, and hopefully with the implementation of the bond program that I'm appreciative of the community approving, we're going to be able to get a lot of the things done that many of you have wanted us to get done over the next several years. So again, thank you, Councilmember Atkins, for welcoming me, even though I was late. And I look forward to conversations after the breakout session and any kind of questions I can answer if, in fact, there's time for Q&A later on.
Okay.
All right?
One quick answer, everyone. There are 2 citations, and he kept talking about code, right? There are 2 citations you do not get a warning. There are 2 citations you do not get a warning. And I know y'all know what them 2 citations is, right? There are 2. Remember, I get a whole lot of people call me and say, well, Councilman Atkins, I got a citation. Can you take care of it? Can you do that? One is what? Cars cannot park what? On the way. Right, that's one. You don't get a warning, you get a citation. Number 2 is what? Bucket trash, right? You don't give a warning, right? I just want to make sure you know those 2. So what we're going to do is we got code compliance, animal service, public works. We want you to break down and talk to these people to find out, because we got different organizations, different neighborhoods in this organization right here. So what we want to do is listen to you. You're going to come back. We're going to try to gather information. We'll come back and do a Q&A. Okay, so don't be shy. Get up and just talk to yes.
When sanitation don't pick up like they supposed to, pick
Oh.
up half the neighborhood, and that week is over with. Most of my people don't know to call 311 to let them know that they didn't pick up the whole neighborhood the week that they're supposed to.
Right.
And they don't always come back that next week to pick up.
Right.
Oh, okay, so
Last week.
so Ms. Stewart, y'all hold those Q&A at the end. So we'll jump on nobody. So no, hold it to the end. Hold it to the end. No. You had to answer everybody. So y'all go break up and talk to these different staff. Go ahead. Let them go talk. We'll come back. Just go in. We'll get about 15 or 20 minutes. Then we'll come back with open session.
I know we got one church.
And her boss stuck open for her. That's them. Welcome to Kim, the chief of staff.
Good evening. It's always a pleasure when we can get out of City Hall and have an opportunity to come and spend time in the community talking to you. And so I have the best backup in the world, right? Our city manager. So
I was late tonight.
I didn't plan to be late, Councilmember Atkins, but I'm glad to be here. Hopefully this has given you an opportunity to talk to our staff and to have some direct, you get the faces, you know who we are, what we do, and that we can be of service to you. And so I'm glad to be here. We always try to find those ways that we can engage and be closer to you. We get busy at City Hall, but please hold us accountable. I want to thank, I see some of the other council office staff members. I see Amy Taylor back in the corner. Amy has probably been in the council longer than any other employee that I know. And so thank you, Amy, and the other team members that are here this evening. But again, I'm happy to be here. Hopefully we'll be able to get some questions. I think we're going to do that now, and we look forward to the Q&A. Thank you so much.
I think it might be something great. 311 came, he's in the back, and the 311 truck is outside, so anybody want to talk to 311, it's there, take care of that. But I think TC got a great staff. You know, we look at the code, the community prosecutors, we look at park and recs. Well, I want to do something different. What I want to do is bring the code person up, you coming up, and it said, you listen to the people. They were talking to you. And I want to see what did you heard and what would you respond back. And let's go around a little bit and we get that done, because now this is who you're talking to every day. You're not talking to the city manager, you're not talking to me, you're talking to the front office.
Okay, so the general concerns that I received from those who came up to the table, some received notices, some received citations, some have concerns regarding illegal dumping in their areas. So I try to answer and explain the ordinance regarding those concerns. For additional time that we need to break down a one-on-one, we are available for you for that as well. So any code concerns that anybody did not get a chance to talk to me about, yes ma'am. Okay. You want to do it now or you want to do it later? Okay.
I have to always ask my question. I always ask one. Live on Harvard, right up here with them. The alley runs all the way to.
Can she go up so she can?
Yeah, the tree.
You got one mic on, sorry. Come to the mic. I brought you halfway. Go ahead. Okay.
Our alley runs from Troy Glen to Camp Wisdom. But right now, then they've been known about this for a long time, and I keep fussing, but I'm not fussing anymore. I'm just letting you know what's going on. The trees has grown like a kind of, the grass from the new addition is taking over the alley because they won't cut the grass. They think they're too good to cut their part of the alley. Last week, the man found 2 big snakes out there. So I'm asking y'all, would you come and look at the trees that's in the alley and get those people to cut that grass? What happened, they did not put them a gate up, and they took part of our alley. So would you please do that, because I don't want a big snake in my house. I keep mine clean. Mr. Atkins can tell you, I keep my part of the house clean, alley. And my house is the only one you see that is clean. But please, I mean, when you get time, because they have little children out here.
What she's saying is, number one, I'm familiar with that. That, you know, some houses is backed up to the alley and you got a new division, that bumper, it's their responsibility to do it, but it's kind of overflow there. That's right there on Firebird, so I think you probably know the address. If you don't, we'll get it. So that's what we'll do. We've got 311 back there. So what you do, call 311, I talk to him, he'll take it, we'll address it right away.
Okay. Let me say something.
Wait a minute, Black. 1501 East Camp Wisdom is part of her problem. The person who owns that vacant lot, if they would put a fence up or cut half of that, that would solve that problem. And they're still dumping, and we still asking code to put cameras up there so we can find out who keep dumping illegally on 1501 East Camp Wisdom.
1501 East Camp Wisdom.
So when it comes to alleys, how the ordinance is written is the property owner is responsible for the alleys. I'm sure most of you are aware of that. But when there's vegetation and overgrowth in the alleys, then we come out and we issue notices where there is vegetation protruding past the fence line for each property owner. There's an allotted time frame that we go by, and then when the inspector goes back, they issue a citation to that property owner if there's no compliance, and then we refer in-house to our mow clean department, and it goes on their schedule to come out and cut and clean. Then the property owner is billed for that.
This has been going on for 20 years.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
we don't know how much that.
Okay, so let me say this. I've been in South Central for the last little over a year now. So South Central has had several turnarounds and turnovers. Staff coming, promoting, leaving, quitting. We have all new staff now. So we're working diligently to meet your request and to bring resolutions for your community.
Yes, ma'am, right there.
Also, apartments in Cleveland and South Coast, the grass is just very, very tall, and it's a horrible eyesight. What do you do in that instance when the apartments are vacant, but they're owned by somebody, and there's a sign there on the step or something, that somebody needs to come and manicure?
So for any concerns that you have, we recommend that you call 311. Once you call 311, you'll be given a service request. That request is given to you for tracking purposes for you as well as for staff. You can call 311, give that address, then we have a multifamily section that deals with apartments that will come out and address that location.
Can't tell the address. On one side of an apartment is say 1021, but the actual physical address is not on the marquee, because I've looked several times trying to do that, because I am a frequent caller of 311.
But another thing you do, you have a code rep assigned to you, and you should have their number, and you can call your code rep and give them direction across where that. So every neighborhood
I'm your neighborhood code rep as well as
you take the
Mr.
code rep
Columbus
direct.
York. I provided my business cards for everyone in this room tonight. You can give me a call, and what we do is ensure that your concerns are addressed, and we communicate that information and those concerns to the property owner, to the code officer as well as the supervisor for your area.
If she's referring to Crystal Creek,
That was turned in to Columbus, Georgia, Tuesday night at our neighborhood association meeting.
Okay, so what he probably did, send an email to our multi-tenant section.
And Crystal Creek, is that Crystal Creek? No. Okay. Is that Polk and Wheaton?
Okay, just ma'am, give me a call so that I can get more information and we'll figure it out.
Okay, but also remember, we got 311 right here, so therefore, he can take the information also. Yes, sir. 311 sitting right, the guy in the blue right there, 311, Steve, raise your hand. So, yes.
Okay.
He next to Sun Strong.
Yeah. So let me ask this question real quick. Does 311 have an escalation process? And if so, what is the time lapse? Because again, just hearing some of the issues here, I've heard a lot in my neighborhood watch meeting also, is I think that sometimes what happens is that some of the issues get lost in the loop. But we want to know, and I think a lot of times people would like to know if there's an escalation process. So therefore, if the time lapse of, let's just say, been over, let's just say 3 months, right? And that this issue hasn't been resolved, like, is there a way that we can contact someone to get that initial issue escalated? So do you all have a process of escalation?
So yes, we do have an escalation process. Okay. When you initially call 311 or you use the app, it's going to give you a confirmation number, or the operator is going to give you a confirmation number. One of the most important questions that operator is going to ask you is, do you want to be contacted? That is so that if you want follow-up from the proper authority that's dealing with that issue, you can have that initial follow-up. A lot of people think, you don't need to call me. That is simply, it's not, do you want to be contacted? It's, do you want that follow-up? Right. You want to know what's going on. So if you do, you always want to say yes. Secondly, if that doesn't get resolved, and it's still an issue, or it doesn't get resolved to your satisfaction, then yes, you can call back to 311, or even if you have the app, you can open that and then create what we call a quality service request. With the quality service request, we find the original service request, and we escalate it up to that department. And then again, one of the questions that we ask you is, do you want to be contacted by the director of the department on this? And it's going to be somebody high up in the management chain that's going to follow up with you. And one of the other things that's huge, because you're asking about time frame, is we give what we call an ERT, an estimated response time, and an SLA, a service level agreement. So there's two keys there. We're going to give you that ERT, which is within the next 5 days we should take our initial action on that. But we'll also say, and generally when it's a code issue, it's going to be 10 days. It's going to be 2 weeks. And then the other thing we're going to give you is that service level agreement, which we'll say 30 days or whatever it may be. And if we exceed that service level agreement, that is grounds for escalating it on up. And then once you've created that quality SR, if you still haven't gotten an answer, perhaps you've talked way up the chain to the director and they said, that is the extent of my authority. That is what we have the authority to do by, city charter law, blah, blah, blah. Right. Then, in that case, then you might want to talk to your council member because they have the ability to affect the legislation. But that is the escalation process. Did I answer that? Is everybody clear? Yes.
Can I take this from you, Mr. 311? Prior to you calling 311 back again, after you've called 311 and had your original service request created, if you haven't seen anything in 10 days, give me a call. I provided everybody with my business card before calling 311 again, and they create quality service requests. I'm the person that deals with qualities in South Central, but a lot of times there are details that's going on that the general public is not aware of. Sometimes it hasn't been looked at, sometimes the process has been begun. Sometimes the inspector may have to do a diligent search of the property owner. Sometimes a notice has been issued, we're waiting on a re-inspect date. It's many variables to that. So give me a call before calling back for the quality.
Okay. I won't let the city manager come up. Oh, chief of staff.
It's her meeting.
It's her meeting. Come on, chief.
This is just an FYI for all of you. We are in the process of actually implementing our new 311 system. And so within the next 90 days, there's going to be a brand new system. And what that system is going to allow you to do, first of all, it's going to be more user-friendly. The question about escalations and how you can actually track and see your service requests. you'll be able to actually see that in real time. You'll know the status, it'll show you the status, and one of the other features that I think is very important is if there are other service requests in your area that are similar to the one that you're calling, you'll click on a map and you'll be able to see all of the other requests that have been submitted.
Wow.
And so we are really excited to announce that. This is something that we've been working on for the last 9 months, and that new system should be up and running sometime in the August timeframe. So just expect to begin to see more information about the new 311 system that's coming forward.
Okay, I know Lady in the Blue had a question.
I think Kim may have answered it, but I do want to know, with the upgrade or the changes with the system, 311 or Kim, if it is still going to almost mandate that you know either the block number that you're in, or will there be some other information that can be provided that can get that service request entered? Case in point, I am very, very agitated about signage on public right-of-ways. Sometimes I have no idea what block, but I can give cross streets. But 311 currently cannot enter that information if I don't have it. Therefore, I call the council office. So do you all?
Well, the system now is address-based.
Okay, so will the new system be a little different?
I'm not really sure if it will, I know you can take a picture of the location and you can actually load that picture into the app and send it in, but I'm not sure if it's automatically going to know the location. But we'll check on that.
Cross streets can pick it up.
Well, if the cross streets are entered when you put it in at that time, and the beauty of it is to make sure we're doing also some visual. So we come out and be able to look at that location and not just take the address, because sometimes people do give wrong addresses, and then that delays the resolution. So let me just double check. I'm not really sure if it has any additional technology on locational pieces, but I know it's got a GIS system built into it. We can track and see where the actual inspectors are in that area at the time that the request is actually input. So it's going to have that type of functionality, but I'm not sure about the detail on the actual addresses.
That would make it quite a little bit more user-friendly. One other aspect, if we're driving, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to write and drive and record.
They're not texting drive.
Here's that, once you receive the information, it will go to your email address. But apparently that's not working. So with the new system, will you get a text message?
You should be able to get a text message, and actually once you do your profile, you can actually say, here's how I want to be contacted. Text message, send me an email, or a phone call. You should be able to put that into your profile when you sign up to be able to communicate and utilize the new app. It's actually called Salesforce. That's the name of it. Is that question for the city manager? No.
Yeah, it works, not to cut you off, because it did it for me just 2 days ago. Texted me back.
Text you back, okay, good. Okay. So you can can actually give your preference for how you want to be reached.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
I've been concerned about the trees that are along all the way from here down to Keys and down Keys. They are all embedded into the wires. And if we ever have an ice storm, we're going to be the first one without power. We have very poor telephone service, and I don't know why over in this area. And another thing, I see the city people, when they do the streets and the thing, they blow those remains that they're cutting out in the street, and they fly around. And so I think that people that do lawns should have something from somebody put in their license or whatever you give them, that they don't blow that stuff. They don't bag it up, they blow it out, and they blow it over in somebody else's yard, and that doesn't do any good. Everybody's got a blower, blows it out in the street. So that's not good. That needs to be addressed somewhere, because the man that I talked to got really angry. I took his license number, I took all of that information, and I told him I was going to turn him in, because he was blowing it in my yard. And I don't have a husband, and I don't like to get out of here. So that's not good.
So what you can do is, for the lawn services that blow
And people do it too. Everybody that has a blower, they don't pick up that stuff. They blow it out in the alley. My alley is full of stuff now where people clean their yard, blow it out in the alley, and they do it in the street. And so they see, monkey does. They do what they see other people do.
So what we can do for that is, there is an ordinance that will address that.
But
So what
they
we
don't
can
know
do
about it.
is, if you provide us that information, because we're not there seeing it, you are, and if you provide us with that information, we can start out with educating them, giving them ordinance information on explaining why they cannot do what they're doing. And from there, if it continues, then a lot of our violations we have to, or all of our violations, we have to actually witness. You know what I'm saying? But if you give an information, we can issue notices, and it can escalate from there.
Regarding all this?
And the trees, you can drive up and down here and see the trees in the line.
Yes, what recording pictures, everything that you have in the trees that are on the power lines,
all of
then
them,
we need to contact
embedded
TXU or
in there.
Encore.
We'll come out, because they came in our area and cut a lot of tree limbs off the line. So that's who you contact, and they'll get it done ASAP.
Yes. Okay, what we're gonna do, we've been up on code right now. We got a whole lot of more departments going around, so we're gonna.
I got somebody else.
Okay, well, so, hold on a second. So therefore, let's get an animal service come up. We're trying to give everybody a chance to talk and see what did you hear, the complaint, and see how we're gonna address it over.
I got a complaint for him too.
Again, good evening. Most of the concerns that was addressed to me had to deal with owner violations. People that have that own pets or that are not doing what they should be doing in regards to city regulation, whether it be tethering, loose animals, or fencing that's not adequate for their particular animal. So that was the main concern with loose animals. And the best way to address that, again, we know 311 is probably not the best system, but it's the system that we have to use. You have to let us know about those violations. If we come out and address the situation, and let's say the owner come into compliance at that particular time, and 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, however long later, they are out of compliance again, we have to be made aware of that again. We're not, unfortunately, able to monitor each and every offense to determine at some point in time that they're breaking city code and regulations. So we have to rely on the citizens to call back again to address, so we can address that situation. One time may not be enough, 2 times, we don't know, but we cannot, we will not know about the situation unless we get another call telling us that this person is in violation of city regulation. So owner violation was the main thing, and we want to hold owners accountable, and we prefer to handle these situations early on as a preventive rather than trying to address the situation after something serious has transpired.
Okay, we got a question about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, back to what we discussed earlier. Okay, you pick up the dog and you take the dog. And we decide we're not gonna come pick up the dog since you're gonna charge us $10 a day for having the dog there. Will the city bill us on our water bill? Or would you just keep the dog, sell the dog, or what would you do?
Well, her question, well, a couple instances where we do that. If we impound an animal that is loose, of course, we keep them at our shelter. Any cost to maintain the care and custody of that animal, that is transferred back to the owner. Same way if your animal bites someone and is quarantined and we keep it at our shelter. You have to pay the fees that are applicable to receive your dog to be redeemed back to you. You have to pay those fees up front. They're not billed to your utility or anything like that.
So if we don't pick the dog up,
If you don't pick the dog up after 10 days, the dog becomes property of the city of Dallas, and at that time we can, whatever measure we deem necessary for that dog, we would do is we can adopt them back out to someone else. We might send them to a rescue group, or whatever the case may be, but it becomes property of the city of Dallas after 10 days. Okay?
Public Works, we want to thank all of you that came to our table with your questions. One of the question we got most is the light at Kernwood and Polk, which your councilman has made a priority for you guys to get a new light. So that light will be coming. That's actually the transportation department, but they were with us, so we took your questions. So we'll take care of that. We're not sure when, but we're gonna send that information to transportation and find out how long.
The light has already been designed. I think it was the steel, was it?
The problem, the lights have been designed.
The material.
Because the material is coming from overseas and the price of steel is going up, so therefore there's a shortage of that supply, and once we find out, we will let you know then. So that's the problem. It has been designed.
It'll be this year. Long time coming. Any other questions?
Yeah.
We had alley questions, we had pothole questions, we had sidewalk questions. So we've taken your information and we will have someone come out and contact you also.
I have called 311 a lot, and I have always given my name, my phone number. I've also called 911 a lot, and I've also given my name and phone number, and no one ever calls me back, check back, no nothing. And I don't know if because they know my name.
That's probably what it is.
Get a phone call back.
It's probably because they know who you are.
Probably because they know your name. I got a problem with that.
Yes, the 311 rep has said, if you want to call back, make sure you give your email.
I always know, I call personally, I give my name, my phone number. And I tell them, if you don't have my address, this is my address. But I still don't get a phone call back to even let me know what happened even after I asked them to call.
So what is your name? I'll make sure my
My
guys.
name is Bruce Stewart.
We all know it.
Yes, ma'am.
I got a question now. I don't know if anyone addressed it with you. It's regarding the sidewalk.
I can't hear you.
Can't hear back here.
It's regarding the sidewalk that's from Kernwood down to Mill Street, the thing that's all crooked. It's not even a sidewalk anymore. I'm sorry. It's regarding the sidewalk from Kernwood all the way down to Mill Street. Sidewalk is just, it's been like that for years. And it's an issue that needs to be replaced. I mean, it's not even walkable.
Is it on Kernwood, or you say it's?
No, it's on, I'm sorry, it's on Polk Street, but
Polk
it's
Street
between
and
Kernwood and Mill Street.
Somebody else mentioned that to me as well. You did.
Did you mention
And we're gonna look at it, and I'm gonna have my staff investigate. We'll come up with a cost estimate. If there's any tripping hazards that we can mitigate by placing asphalt down, we'll do that.
I think we do 311 left, but what we need to do on the address, the 311 still there?
He's outside.
So we want to address, I think, some of these questions to get back to, right, let's do 311. We do that now, so therefore we can get in the system, so we can track it. If you tell us right now, then get back with you, but we got a number we can track and get back to you on a time right now. So make sure, Maria, see if the 311 come back and make sure you can get that question.
I'm writing
You writing it down
so I
also?
will be submitting these today.
Okay.
All
So
right.
my secretary, my administrator said they will, you will submit the
I
311?
will submit, once I get home tonight, I will work and submit these requests tonight.
All right, give it up.
Anybody else have any more questions? And for those of you that gave your address for your alley, your potholes, we will be turning in a service request for those too.
Thank you.
Good evening. We had several concerns with the Park and Recreation Department, but fortunately, they weren't Park and Recreation property. And so the citizens that had those concerns, I am still going to reach out and find out who's the owners of those properties so we can point you in the right direction. I had two inquiries. First for Alta Mesa, additional parking at Alta Mesa Park was requested by the community. And what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to follow up with our Planning and Design Division, Mr. Leon Lim, and see where that is on the capital projects and whether it's been added to our inventory needs list. Secondly, there's a property that is adjacent to Carter High School. There are some bollards that is impeding traffic from going in and out of the neighborhood. We have a park that's adjacent to the school, Wheatland Park. It's not necessarily a park, it's just an open field, and it has wildflowers. But there are some bollards that they aren't Park and Recreation property, but tomorrow I'm going to look into it and find out who owns the property and point the citizen in the right direction. I didn't have anybody inquire tonight, but I have had individuals inquire about a project I want to give you an update on. we have Twin Falls Park at the corner of Polk and Redbird Lane. There's an erosion issue that I'm pretty sure everyone in the community has noticed for a while. The erosion issue itself is through Trinity Watershed Management. It's not through the Park and Recreation Department, but we have been working diligently with them on giving you a timeline. So the Trinity Watershed Management Project is going to start October the 15th of this year.
All right.
For it to be repaired, and it should be completed by March 18th. So I've given my card out. Again, that's Trinity Watershed Management, but it is adjacent to Twin Falls Park. And if you do have any, if you can't get in touch with anybody at Trinity Watershed, please contact me, and I'll be happy to give you an update and a timeline as we move forward, because it is a concern for the safety of the citizens in the community. And that was all the questions that I had. Does anybody else have any more questions for Park and Recreation?
Are you all going to rename one of the parks to someone who had died in the community up the street on Polk and a river?
No, ma'am, not that I know of. But I do know that the Office of Cultural Affairs, they were planning to install some public art there. That may have been what you've heard about. And I'm not for sure, but I don't want to give misinformation, but I think it was a local artist. I mean, most of us Dallasites know about Frank Frazier, and I think it's a piece commemorating Frank Frazier. But what I can do is, I have my card, I can find out the specifics of it and contact you directly tomorrow. Okay. All right.
We already know your name, Roots. Do it.
I don't know if you can answer this, but with the people that cut the lawn, the grass, and the medium and things like that,
Yes, ma'am.
and on the side of the highway, they don't pick up the trash all the time over here. They just cut it in little pieces. I would like to see it manicured much better.
It's not Park and Recreation, but you did speak of contractors that cut on. We do have contractors that cut on our parks and our trails, and that's Good Earth. And so if it's on a Dallas Park and Recreation park, if there's litter that hasn't been picked up at that particular park, whether it's Glendale, whether it's Danieldale Park, or whether it's Pecan Ridge, you can give me a call directly if the park hadn't been picked up in a timely manner in that day. And what we do is our contract compliance officer reaches out directly to Good Earth to find out, are they running behind? When are they scheduled to be back at that park? And what happens is when they are out of compliance, it does affect the monies that are paid out to the company.
Because I'm going to say, I called for supervisors several times at Good Earth. They never return calls.
Right.
But I know that they're getting revenue from the city for all parts of the city that they operate in.
Right. And we do contract, and just so everyone knows, we do contract out to Good Earth with the Park and Recreation Department for our trails. But there are a lot of properties that are surrounding trails, that are surrounding schools, that are communities, that the community just assumes that it's Park and Recreation, and it's not. But if you want to give me a call, if there's any property that you see that there's mowing that's going on, or weed eating, or litter that's not being picked up, I'll be happy to find out if it's our property, and if it's not our property, find out the department that services it for you. Yes, ma'am.
I have one more question, and this has nothing to do with parks. It's code, I guess.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Listen, when you get with the code,
Even though I work for the city attorney's office, Larry Castro is your city attorney, I'm gonna be respectful to Mr. Bronax tonight. I'm at home, Mr. Bronax. I'm gonna be really nice. Thank you all, Kim. But first of all, wearing the hat of working for the city attorney's office and community courts, I want to say thank you. We are here for you. You know, it's time for the senior adults now, and we actually do your lawn services for you. So I know you have no complaints. It's free. And so we actually do that. Minor home repairs, we take care of that. But here's one important thing I want you to know, and then to tell your family. You need to call us to check on your Class C misdemeanors to see if you actually have active warrants. I don't want you to find out when they stop you and tow your car, or when you go renew your license, or if you're on Dallas Housing Authority. Those are several ways that they check to see if you have active Class Cs. So we actually have a night court. When I leave here, I'm going back to work at 2014 Main Street. So now you don't have any excuses, because every Thursday night, we actually have court from 3 to 11. Yes. If we had a little bit more money in public relations, we could get the word out better. But you know, we don't have public relation budget money, none. And so we have to do it the best way we can. So if you all would take a flyer, most of you all know about the lawn services. So you can call us, get your rotation so we can take care of that. But I'm serious about these Class C misdemeanors. Please give us a call before you actually get stopped. And we are here to help you. And if you just want to check, we can actually do that for you. The other good thing, this Saturday, you guys, we work in partnership with the District Attorney's Office, Faith Johnson. So now you don't have to go downtown to do your your protective orders. You can actually come to any of the community courts and complete that paperwork. Now, if you don't have anything else to do this Saturday, at Pilgrim Rest Baptist Church, 178 people will have their records expunged. That's right, that's in order. And it was free. And that's a partnership that we have with the City Attorney's Office and with the District Attorney's Office. Once a year, March 3rd was when we did the screening. If you go through the entire process, your entire record is expunged at no cost to you. So that graduation will be actually this Saturday at Pilgrim Rest Church at 9 a.m. in the morning. Now, as a District 8 resident, thank you so much, Councilman Atkins, because if y'all didn't know, they had a homeless shelter right there at Camp Wilson and Polk. It took me almost going to his house to get it removed, but it's gone. That laundromat where they didn't complete it, the homeless people had started living up there. Yes. Wow. Yeah, we can't do that in District 8 as a resident. Thank you. So y'all call 311 and that don't work, call him. Okay? And then in addition to that, we have got to take responsibility for our neighborhood. Now, I don't know what's happening, but all of a sudden these panhandlers are going crazy over here. Yes. So you all, please, for our district, we need to get rid of the panhandlers. We love everybody, but we need to do something about that. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good evening. I almost said afternoon. Good evening, everyone. So thanks to everyone that came by. If you didn't come by, you should have, because we were the coolest table. No offense. But what I wanted to talk about is we just recently in February debuted a new service, and it's called GoLink. And it's basically if public transit and Uber and Lyft had a baby, it would be called GoLink. So what it is we've got areas that are not well served by transit, and we know that. Riley-Kleberg, the Inland Port, UNT Dallas, even though they have a fantastic rail station. And so what this does is if you live in the area that we've demarcated as a GoLink zone, you can either download a smartphone app just like Uber or Lyft, or if you don't have a smartphone, we have a call-in number. And that shuttle will come to wherever you are in this zone and take you anywhere that you need to go, also in this zone. Now, if you need to go outside the zone, we've got the light rail stations as anchors. So say that you're down in the Inland Port, but you don't live in that area. You live up on Ledbetter. So this will come and pick you up at the UNT Dallas station, take you to within the zone. Now, I must say that a lot of the Inland Port area is outside of our service area, but we will get you to the part that is in the city of Dallas. And then you can come and have them pick you back up. They'll take you back to the station, and you can go on that way. So this is a really great service. In Riley-Kleberg, we only had one bus that ran every 60 minutes, and that is not good service. We replaced it with one of these on-call zones, and the average response time now is 11 minutes. So we went from an area where people only had 60-minute service to now having service within 11 minutes. So I encourage you to come back, take a couple of these brochures, try it out, let us know how it's going. It is a pilot program, so it is important that we hear back from you guys, whether it's a good thing, whether it's a bad thing, whether we should bring back the traditional buses and trains, or whether we should join the rest of the world in the 21st century. So I did get a request to look into the bus stop over at Polk and Caronwood, which from what I hear needs a little bit of love. So I'll go back and take a look at that and see why the bus stop was removed and try to look into getting that put back in there. But does anyone else have any other questions for us? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that bus stop where people sit out in the street to catch the bus in front of the Y right there at Hampton, just before you get to Redbird Lane.
Okay.
You all really, I've been telling y'all for 3 years, the people literally sit on the sidewalk with their feet in the street. I would hate to wait until somebody run over their feet before somebody actually either take the bus stop down if you can't put a bench there,
but at least do something about it. But that's directly in front of the Y.
Okay, if it's directly in front of the Y, then I will look into getting a bench there. Our board has service standards. So the way that it works is if we have a bus stop that has 25 people that get on that bus stop a day, we'll put a bench in. If we have 50 people that get on that bus stop, we'll put a shelter in. But we do exceptions for sensitive uses. So things like schools, things like senior centers. So YMCAs. So if you have anything, or council member, you have anything that you're like, this I think maybe could use a bench or a shelter, please do not hesitate to contact me. My name is Brittany Farr, B as in boy, F as in Frank, ARR @dart.org. And I will look into it. I can't promise you I can do it, but I promise you I'll look into it and get you an answer.
But Brenda, would you also tell them that going forward in the future, we are trying to have more innovative ways to get people to work.
Absolutely.
And then you'll be rolling that out,
Yes, sir.
next year, year after next, and you just kind of tell them that.
So what the council member did in conjunction with Commissioner John Wiley Price is in March we hosted a symposium at UNT Dallas to talk about the inland port and getting people to jobs, because we know you guys don't care if it's a DART bus, if it's a cab, if it's an Uber, you just need to get to work. And so many people are doing so many different things. Amazon's got their own shuttle. Oh my gosh, I didn't do it. 10 minutes. Oh, should I jump up and down? So Amazon's doing their shuttle. Star Transit is doing their shuttle. We thought we need to get everyone in the same room and all start speaking the same language. So we're working with the council member and with the commissioner to form what's called a Transportation Management Association. It's the same thing they have up in Legacy West where all those other businesses are popping up. And what it is it's a way for us as transportation providers to work with elected officials and the businesses to come up with the best possible solutions for getting people to work. So that's in the work. Gary Thomas is working very hard with the council member, with Commissioner Price, and we hope to really get that up and running by the end of the year at the absolute latest, sir.
Housing and neighborhood revitalization. Biggest thing happening with housing lately is we just passed a new housing policy. Thanks to Chairman Atkins, Chairman of the Economic Development and Housing Committee. He helped us shepherd it through council just last week. And with it came a redesigned home repair program. So no more of the caps that we had on emergency repair, rebate, and our major systems. Now we've got one program, pretty simple. It's a comprehensive home repair program that addresses everything from your foundation through your roof. And regardless of what you may think your needs are, we'll send our inspectors out to do a full analysis of your home and work with you from there to address your needs. So we had the opportunity to talk to some residents at the back table. We realized that we have a lot of work to do in terms of marketing and getting the word out on what this program entails and who it's most appropriate for, but we're just getting started. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because they make sure when they're putting these services in our home, that they put quality services.
Absolutely.
Not less
Absolutely.
than what we had originally,
No.
then we have the kind of problems.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of the biggest factors that we've been pushing is sustainability. We want to make sure that any products that we're putting into your home are going to last long term. Now, the one thing I will say that's important is that this is a home repair program, not a home maintenance program. And some people kind of get that confused. They think, okay, we're going to be coming back regularly to change your filters, you know, and we're not the landlord, right? But we are there to make those repairs, be it a roof, be it a foundation, a window, door, access ramp, something of that nature.
So with sanitation and some of the main concerns that I received today was about bucket brush pickup. So it was glad to hear that some citizens was happy with the garbage and recycle collection, but there was issues with the bucket brush. And I answered a lot of the questions, and yes, we are struggling a little behind on brush right now. I know we did not complete week 1 in the time that we supposed to, but they was concerned about getting citations whenever we do not complete in time. So I made it known that whenever we do not complete our scheduled week, we do notify code, put it in the system, not to write citation because we did not complete. And so there was plenty of questions about what do you do if we do not collect a street, if a street is missed? definitely call 311. I gave my card out. You can call me, and I will pass it on to the district manager to make certain we get the service.
Hello, I'm Senior Corporal Jernigan. Most of the complaints that we have were from speeders speeding up and down the street and doing the swerving. They call that swinging, which is highly illegal. And if we run into it, we would definitely check them, make sure they have proper insurance, tow their vehicle if no insurance, write tickets. If they have warrants, they go to jail. But I will relay this information to the supervisor of the traffic division, and he will place more officers probably out running radar. I am myself radar certified, and I will do more radar as well. So if Senior Corporal No has anything to add on to that, or piggyback on it, turn it back over to the council member.
Okay, now. Oh, you got a question? Oh, she working. Okay. 2 days. May 29th, May 21st, right? Monday night, right? 6 o'clock, right? Senior Rec Center, right? And also, May 29th, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, May 29th, 12 o'clock. Howland Hills, Old Howland Library.
All right.
What, District Court?
Yes, sir.
I got a meeting that day.
Well, good. You gotta show up. Yay! Good, Ruth, good. Thank heaven for Ruth who had to show up. Oh. Give her a cake. Thank you, Ruth. Oh, we got a short meeting, a very short meeting. But on May 20th at 12 o'clock, we will be over at community office, District 8 community office, so be sure to get there. It'll be May 29th at 12 o'clock, Old Howland Hills Library. With that, I'll let Kim told me this was her meeting since she was late. She got to close it out. So, Kim. Hey, she's a great chief of staff, ain't she?
Yes.
Well, hopefully you've had an opportunity to not only ask questions, but to get some level of response. We thank you for taking your time. You could be doing something totally different tonight. And so you being here is just an indication that we know that you care about this community, we care about this community, and if we continue to work together, we can impact quality of life for all of you and for our children. So thank you so very much. We appreciate the time that Councilmember Atkins puts forth doing these types of things. This is important. And so when we don't get out here and we don't have an opportunity, it's really hard for us to know how well we're doing. So thank you for your engagement tonight. Continue to hold us accountable. Continue to call 311. Continue to demand follow-up and responses. We need that so we can get better at what we do. Councilmember Atkins, the next meeting in this area will be later in the summer?
No, we got another meeting coming. We're getting ready for the budget. We start early for the budget.
Okay, we're not coming for the budget meeting. But he mentioned the opening of the district office for District 8. The city manager in this year's budget put forth this initiative to really bring City Hall to the community.